Alright guys, in this video I'm going to give you away the system and the business model that allowed me to make over $750,000 in the online space today, and I want to give it to you away for free. But before I do that, you guys need to understand exactly how I got here in the first place, because there's no point in me explaining what made me money right now today, because what made me money 3 years ago is completely different to what it is right now. So before you understand what's working right now, you need to understand how we even got here in the first place. So this is just some proof for you guys that want to see. This is my Stripe, so I have two Stripe accounts, and I also have like a Wise account where I process payments, and I also get bank Wise as well. So this doesn't include everything, but majority of my money was processed on Stripe. I converted it. It's around like 500 and something K, so like half a mil with like info. And when it comes to like what is it called, bank wise and stuff, it's like an extra like I think 150K that came through, so it's around like that 750ish K bit range. And before this, when I first started out in 2023, when I started my first agency, I was doing solo marketing. So I was running ads for solo companies. I would say, hey guys, I'm gonna get you leads, I'm gonna get you appointments, just pay me a retainer and I'll make you a lot of money. And I got scaled this to around 3K a month. And then second half of 2023, this was when I started my show from content agency. And this is an agency where I would go to people who have online products, or they're selling online courses or anything like that, and I would prefer to help them get more traffic through short form content. So I'll come in, I'll help them with the edits, help them with the videos, that type of stuff. And I scaled this to around $12,000 a month. Okay, so this was around the time where short form content was really popping. I enjoyed it, it was really cool, but I came to a bottleneck, and that's when I transitioned into growth operating. And I'll explain how I transitioned, because the how I transition part is super important. And I want to make this video completely different to every video you've seen around like how people make money online, because I don't think anyone is super transparent about the journey, because a lot of people always have something like they want to sell you, or like an idea they want you to believe. I just want to give you the entire truth of how I got here, so you guys can learn from all the lessons and all the mistakes and all the hardships I had to go through to get to this point in the first place. Okay, so from 2024, I started my done for you growth operating agency, and this is where I hit my first 30K a month. So what I was doing is I would work with coaches and consultants, people that had online education companies, and I would help them get more clients. So I'd help them get more course sales, help them get more coaching and consulting sales, help them get more coaching clients, and I would take a percentage of the revenue. So I scaled this to my first 30K a month. I think it was like 35K a month. That's kind of like how it hit. And then 2025, I became a hybrid consultant. You might ask yourself, what the heck does that even mean? How does that work? I'm going to explain what that is later in this video, because that's what's allowed me to make the most amount of money I make right now. That's allowed me to make this money consistently, which is most important. And it's something that I truly believe in. Like, I have so much conviction in the hybrid consultant model that I feel like every single person that you've seen is doing it to somewhat of an extent. And I'm going to explain a lot of people that you might not realize that are actually using this model to make a lot of their money. So let me explain why I made a transition, because I'm not going to go about like, solo marketing agency and all that type of stuff, because that's boring. No one really cares about that. How did I get to this point? Which this point over here, I think this is what you guys really care about. You guys really care about what happens here. So let me explain that. I made a transition because there was an issue with the done for you agency model after a certain point. So this is with my short form content agency at the time, GBP. I was making decent margins and I was slowly transitioning into growth operating. But the more clients I signed, the number of my profit margins just kept going down, which is fine because margins go down inevitably with scale. However, your fixed costs, which are the costs that you need to have to run the company, costs like employees, costs like assistants, costs like software, those things need to be there, otherwise your business can't function. They will become more and more, and then your margins become less and less. So you become to a situation where you have to just sign more clients to be able to sustain to sustain the workload. And I got to the point where I was making decent money, but I had a ton of mini bosses, so a ton of guys telling me, "Hey, this is what you should do. This is how you should do it." I would work super late, like I would stay up sometimes like 3 a.m. on calls with clients, fixing different processes. I'd get called at random times, something would break, I'll have to fix it. I'll stay up to get this stuff done. I would have to deal with random client requests, almost feeling like I have to keep proving myself every single week for them to just justify them paying me. Every time, I don't know if it felt like that for you, but when I was running my agency, and before I switched to this whole consulting model, which I'm going to explain how it works a little bit later, I felt like I had to prove myself every single time to make these people know that, hey, like, you should still pay me because I'm doing so much stuff for you. So I'd have to do extra things to make them understand that I'm trying to, help them make a lot of money, even though that's the whole reason I'm here. I'm trying to help them make a lot of money. So part of me subconsciously just didn't want to scale that agency. So I was stuck around like 25K to 35K a month for a very long time, because I didn't want to keep ramming outreach to get new people because I thought it would be the same old stuff. And even my clients, I even had my client one time come up to me, but like, how are you going to scale your business? This stuff is unscalable. I love the work you're doing for me, but how are you going to make more money? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Because he was like, you're doing so much stuff. And it just didn't feel like I was in control. Even though it felt like, yes, it was my own business, it didn't feel like that. It didn't actually feel like it was. And I'm going to explain why this always happens to people. And this typically happens around like 15 to 30K a month for the agency. If you don't experience this stuff, you're probably not making the money to experience it. And I would suggest you do make that money first, because you need to understand what I'm talking about here before I get into the rest of the whole video. Because if you understand this hybrid consultant model, oh my God, you guys would have so much freedom that you don't even believe it. The actual freedom that you came into the agency game for in the first place, you would actually achieve it if you understand the consultant model. So after I realized this, I transitioned into the growth partner model, where it's pretty much very simple. You work with one client, you take a percentage of the revenue that they make, and then you manage their entire back end. And this paid me a lot of money. So this is my website. I actually ran it. I did it for a very long time, and I would get 15 to 20K a month payments from one client every month because of my revenue share. And because I was actually really good at this, I made a lot of coaches a lot of money. So I made coaches like 100K months, 200K months, 250K months, 50K months. I did that consistently for a long amount of people, and I think I work with over like 70 plus coaches. Like, if you check my actual like Google Drive of all the people I work with, there's over like 70 different folders of different clients that I work with at a time. And this is just to show you some of the spend that people would pay me. Like, this is just Stripe alone. Like I said, I started getting bank wise because I didn't want to pay the Stripe fees, and I'll get wires up to like $70,000 a month from one client. It's like $15,000 to $20,000 wires all into my accounts. But there was an issue with this. Like, this is not an actual agency, and I'm sorry I'm saying this, but it's the truth. Like, you're basically a partner in someone's business. It's not technically an agency. For me to justify something as an agency, and I guess the theoretical version of it is obviously when you're fulfilling services for a lot of different people, but because there isn't a way to consistently acquire these types of clients, and because the way that they're paying you isn't something that is predictable in a way, I don't really classify this as an agency. I'm not saying it's a bad model to run. I'm just saying, in my opinion, it's not really a business. So let me explain. You're working and you're focusing on someone else's business 24/7. It's not necessarily yours. Imagine taking care of every single aspect of the business for them. You're pretty much at the mercy of them being consistent with the content and things they need to do. Send them your VSL, make sure that they record the videos on time, make sure that they post the ads on time, make sure that they send you the assets you need. And if they're not unicorn clients, and for me a unicorn client is someone that just has a ton of traffic, a ton of attention, that can just make money just appear out there because they can make a video gets like 200K views, 200K likes, and you get a bunch of comments. If you don't have those types of clients, it's really hard to scale past the crazy big boy numbers. To me, big boy numbers, 300K, 400K, 500K a month, where you actually start making like crazy money. And then obviously if it's too client reliant, it just didn't feel like it felt like, how would I scale this business if my clients are the reason why I can't make more money? It didn't make sense to me. And I realized the acquisition for these types of clients, especially for the ones that made me the most amount of money, was a little bit different, because it was always a situation where I would get a client from doing really good work for someone, or I worked underneath someone for like a little bit, I did some cool stuff and I was like getting some clients, or something at the right place at the right time happened, and I got a bunch of clients from there, and then an opportunity is created and then the deal is closed. So I would get a lot of clients because this whole chain of events would happen. It's either like a friend of a friend, a networking event, a referral, someone knows another person that knows another person that knows another person. I would get clients like this, and I'm not saying this to be a bad thing, because there's nothing wrong with this. I've signed clients just like this myself. However, you need to understand one thing: you cannot replicate these types of chains of events. You can't replicate the fact that I signed clients literally from being in the right room at the right time. I literally signed a client coming back from lunch in the office, and then one of my friends knew someone that had a coaching business in that office at the time when I was in the office, and then he made the connection at that time, and at that time he was specifically looking for someone to help him run his info. How can I teach someone to replicate that? And then that guy goes on to then pay me $8,000. I can't teach someone to replicate that. There's no way you're actually going to build an agency like this, because there's no acquisition system. It's just not possible. Even though I hit 52K a month, no, 35K a month with that model, like purely that model, and then I hit 52K a month with the hybrid model, which I'm about to explain later in this video. So I really urge you have to watch this, because it's gonna change your life if you actually understand how it works. I still had clients paying me $15,000 to $20,000, but I was never comfortable taking it to the next level, because I'm honest with myself. I was completely transparent with myself. I was like, look, I'm getting these clients because of pure luck and because of me just being in the right place at the right time and me having a personal brand. I can't see a logical way of me like having numbers coming in and like this is gonna be consistent this month and this is gonna be consistent next month. It just didn't make sense in my head. As a result, I was stagnant for a while. So I was basically just being like, all right, cool. What can I do that can allow me to scale, something that allows me to have control and leverage to push? Because a lot of the things I was doing, like I said, to make the money that I was making, it was very client reliant. It was very back and forth communication to make sure your clients did the things that they needed to do for you to make the money that you want to make. So I went back in time. Like I sat down, I was like, okay, cool. Let me look at the moment where I had a pure acquisition system, something that I actually shut down at the time, even though it was making me a lot of money passively, not really doing that much work, to just focus on growth operating because I thought that was what was gonna get me to that like 100K a month like levels, which it can get you. And I'm gonna show you like examples of why I still think it works. But like there's certain ways you have to kind of like position it. You have to almost become a hybrid consultant, and I'll explain how it works. So had a system where I'd make YouTube videos and I would run simple funnels. Had a simple funnel on my IG, and I was getting consistent weekly clients. I was getting people to pay me every single week to pretty much like teach them consulting, and this was like the most profitable like business I've ever actually run because I only had to pay for Loom and I had to pay for like Loom and school to run it. So I was making like 98% profit margins, which is kind of insane. And I ran this for a very long time and I realized there was a very consistent way of getting clients. I had to make one specific type of video, one specific type of content on IG, and one specific funnel, and I would make money. The same way we have funnels for our clients and the same way we have funnels to make our clients money, and like the same way that everyone else has funnels nowadays. It's the same thing. It's the same concept, just for yourself. So I reverse engineered how I did that, and I got the system that allowed me to make all that money. But now I've put it on steroids, and I want to give it to you guys away for completely free. So if you guys are enjoying this so far and you want to see more about what the hybrid model is, there's going to be a link down below, by the way, that's going to explain how the hybrid model even works and if it's something that you might be interested in as well. Because I genuinely think if you are at the point where you've got an agency or like you're already running a consulting business and you just want to scale it and get to the point where you're making like 50 to 100K a month in profit in your bank account, I genuinely think if you use the hybrid model, you can get there. So if you want to check that out, there's going to be a link down below that will explain how it works and why I think it can actually get you to that point. So if you want to stay tuned to this video, let me explain how this stuff actually works and how you can obviously get to the point with the hybrid consulting model. So this will take me to 100K a month if I do this correctly. I 100% believe it. So the way that works is simple. You have one-time consulting offers for 3 to 10K that you have an acquisition system built out for, a system where if you did X amount of inputs, you will get X amount of results. This is the key. You need something where if you do X amount of things, you will get X amount of results back. You need to be able to say, if I sit down and make 5 YouTube videos, or if I sit down and spend X amount on ads, I will bring back XYZ. If you cannot do that, I promise you don't have a business. I'm being completely honest. I'm saying this with conviction. You will not have a business if you can't do that. That's why I say the growth hormone stuff is like your partner. It's not a bad thing to be a partner. Partners make a shit ton of money. There's partners that make way more money than me. I'm just saying that it's hard to compete with those types of people if you don't have unicorn clients. So then you have the best clients. So you have the clients that will pay that 20 to 30K a month, 10 to 20K a month that you get from your acquisition systems or your happen chance referral systems that come out. And those people are on a partnership deal, okay? So you have your consulting offers, and then the best of the best clients that are not a headache to manage, they go on the consulting level. And this is a path that everyone I've seen that I know that does really well goes down. Iman Ghazi, 7-figure agency. I think he made around like 100K a month for his agency. Then went to the coaching, made 9 figures. Now he works hands-on with info companies, and he has different tiers. So he has the consultant tier, which is like, you pay for his program, which is I think like 18K. And then he has a level above that, which I'm sure where it's like masterminds, partnerships, and obviously like helping them scale other info products as well too. That's pretty much the hybrid model. He's doing that in its full effect. He's pretty much going after people, and he has a system built out to get people under the lower level consulting, and then he has the upper level stuff for the people that really want to scale, that really want to make like crazy fucking money. That's him. Sue, a good friend of mine, he scaled his agency to multi six figures and then he transitioned to coaching. He made 150K a month, and he has a system to consistently sign those clients coming in. And then he has his partnership deals for the people that are really making a lot of money, like his high level done for you stuff that he charges like 15, 20K up front for, and then obviously like a percentage of the revenue, similar to what I'm doing, just at a bigger scale or like a big different scale at different timeline because he did it like a little bit earlier than me. And I have Eamon, another good friend of mine. I actually work with him as well too. He transitioned into coaching. He still has his agency. He's still running it. It's just very automated right now. But the coaching stuff brings in pure cash flow that doesn't have too much expenses, that doesn't have too many like things coming on top of it. And obviously you have a lot of cash flow that comes from the offer. And then if you have people that want like more high level stuff, like let's say they want agency services, they go to this agency. So I know so many other people. Like I have my friend Ethan that actually went transition and he went into a hybrid consultant model, and I helped him out obviously like set up the offer and obviously position it and like change it the right way to get people coming in. And he went from my kitchen making 10K a month from one client, feeling like a slave, literally being told every single day what to do, how to think, literally couldn't have a free life. He didn't have freedom at all. Like every single day he was thinking about someone else's business. And I told him like, look, this is not the life that you want to live. You're not going to be happy like this. And then the moment he transitioned and the moment we set up the whole systems for him, I wish I had a screenshot for it because he's going to send it to me, but I'm going to put this on the video landing page or anything like that. If you guys want to check out the link to obviously become a hybrid consultant, there's going to be a link down below. I kid you not, he went from struggling, making 9K a month, working 12 hours a day, to then making $50,000 a month within the first, I would say, 6 weeks of launching the offer, and then he works 3 hours a day. I'm not even joking. If you on and what's crazy about that is you then have an acquisition system to get those people every single week, every single month. So then your income is actually consistent and it's not relying on you, them, it's relying on you. And which is a good thing because then you can actually control the levers and then you can build a system to get it to the point where it doesn't rely on you. That it's the only thing that you can do to have a consistent acquisition system for. Because when you have a normal agency owner, every single person gets capped at a certain point. The more clients you have, the more operational complexity your agency becomes. And let's say you get to the point where you have like 20 clients with like a normal regular agency. Let's say you have a content agency, for example. It is extremely difficult to scale past this point because of the amount of operations that is required to get past that 20 clients mark. But then when you have a growth up agency, it's even worse. It's like you have so many different levels of operations that you have to go through to obviously get to that point, and it's extremely difficult to scale once you get past I think like 6-ish clients because you're doing so much hands-on. You need to have an entire team structure, entire team built out, and then it's going to get to that point, and then you're going to feel underappreciated, undervalued, commoditized, and it feels like every single day you have to prove yourself to your clients to make them keep paying you. And like I said, guys, this is not me bashing on Operator. I toured it for like an entire year and a half. Like you can still scale to 15 to 30K a month in profit because I was able to do that with this model. But after that stage, if you want to truly get to the 50 to 100K a month mark consistently and not do it like on a one-off basis, you need an acquisition system, period. It's the truth. I'm just being completely honest with you. I'm removing my biases aside. You need an acquisition system to get to those points. You're not going to get to 50 to 100K a month in profit if that's what you guys are looking to get to, which is who I'm making these videos for, only for people that actually do want to get to those levels. You are not going to get there without an acquisition system. It's impossible. How would you do that? How can you predict being in the right place at the right time, having this person give you a referral, having this type of client coming in, having this type of client sending you the assets at the right time? You can't do that. It's impossible. You have to have an acquisition system that relies on you doing one specific input to get multiple specific outputs. And all the big guys in geo literally say this all the time. They don't push this model, but they tell you this all the time that they get all the best clients with clients and referrals and brand. So I was looking at it. Ben Bader, even just spoke to him like a couple hours ago, like to even talk about like different stuff. Like he was even saying similar things as well too. It's like 100K up info agency business, and like he's doing really well. I respect him a lot with his stuff. Then Pure Curry, 100 to 200K up. I think he's even doing more because like his clients are ripping right now. Crazy business. Devontae, 300 to 400K a month, crazy business. But what's crazy about all these people is they openly and they always say all the time they get their clients just by network and referrals and just by being in the right place at the right time. They've said it many times. This is not to like bash them on because they've done so much work to get to the point where they can get lucky. And obviously, well, I won't say get lucky, but they've done so much work to get to the point where like they have luck on their side, and obviously they can be in the right place at the right time to make these moments happen because they put in the work. They had to actually work to get to that point. I'm just basically saying that I saw this and I was like, how can I replicate this? I was like looking at it from the perspective of, okay, cool, like how did Ben get these types of clients? How did Devontae get these types of clients? How did this person get these types of clients? And then you find out that, hey, bro, it's just all referrals and it's just all network and it's just all personal brand. Then you're like, shit, how can I build a system to replicate this? So that's where it kind of made me feel like, damn, how do I do this? And I'm not saying this to be like, oh, I've never done this before, so it's like I can't get it. I've gotten clients from having a personal brand, having good case studies, having referrals, having friends over friends. I've been able to get clients pay me 15, 20K a month just from having, all these things in place. And I'm being completely honest with you. This 15K payment that I got was a connection from someone that I did a good work for. He made me a referral, and then boom, this guy paid me 15K. Another payment, 8K payment. This guy was also a referral. And it was also a connection that came from like me being like, in the right place at the right time. And my 17K monthly payments, the client was paying me like 15K, like, 10 to 15K, sometimes 20K every single month, was from inbound and just like having a really good connection with like someone that I did really good work for in the previous time. So it's like, I can't replicate this. But what I can replicate is a system that allows me to get consulting clients every single week, either with content, YouTube, and with ads. And if I can do that for myself, and if I could have done that for other people, which I did, I could do that for myself. So that's why I'm going all in on consulting. And I want to take you on this path along with me, because I want you guys to become hybrid consultants. I don't want you guys to go through the entire thing of like how I went through, issues with clients where they weren't doing right things and they weren't doing different stuff. I want you to get to the point where if you're making the amount of money where you think it makes sense for you to transition, then I want you to explain how you can become a hybrid consultant in the first place. So what is an hybrid consultant? What do we even do? So hybrid consultants 2.0, because I actually launched this before, but now this is 2.0, is where you productize your skill sets and you sell them at a premium. This is either via SOPs and trainings with videos, or like, you have systems in place that you've already made for different clients or different people, and you're just like giving that access to those systems. You're allowing people to use them. You license them. If you want to say you're licensing, you build consistent acquisition systems that will get you new clients every single week. I have over 6 or 7 or multiple different ways of acquiring clients, especially high ticket ones, every single week that I use for myself, and obviously I use for my clients. And I've allowed them to make a lot of money. And then people who resonate with your messaging are going to come to you. You get to choose your clients. That's the best part about this. You don't have to work with every single person. It's the same thing, because with the normal agencies, you almost kind of have to work with the people that you can get, or sometimes you can say no if it doesn't make sense to them, but then you lose out on the revenue that you could have potentially made by selling them something that is a little bit less, that's a little bit easier to deliver on. So you work with the best people done for you, and then you consult the rest. And this way you work with more potential people, and you allow yourself to get even more luckier. Because let's say you do really good work with someone that on a consultant level, they might know someone that could be really good on a done for you level as well too. So then you can actually get them in from there. So it's almost kind of like you have this like level of access that you built up because you had a system for that. Okay, so you attract clients and you don't chase money. You don't need to be chasing money, especially if you have something of value. At the end of the day, money is just a value exchange. If someone thinks something you have is valuable, they will pay money for it. That's just how it is. At the end of the day, you build offers and assets that are low leverage and to fulfill, and they bring in recurring revenue. So you can get paid once, you can get paid weekly if you have systems in place for that. It works extremely well. And what I really did that allowed me to scale this hybrid consulting stuff was me implementing AI for fulfillment, so I can keep scaling. So what happens is the guys who I have on a consultant basis, on a consultant level, I don't really do much fulfillment for them, because they get access to the systems. I set the expectations clear, and if they need extra help, a lot of the stuff I do for them can be done with AI if you structure it the right way. So that's how I structured it. And now my calendar is honestly like 4 to 5 hours a day just free, because I know what I'm doing and I have a system all built out. So I don't have to go out of my way to go and force myself to bring in new people every single week. So these are the results of me just becoming a hybrid consultant. Like, I'm able to have way more freedom than I've ever actually dreamt of. Been able to travel business class, be able to do all the fun, cool stuff that people have been able to talk about, make more money than I've ever had. Like, 53K months, getting paid like 70K like upfront. Like, not even that because I was operating, but like getting paid like massive amounts of money upfront just to do really good work, and obviously close people and then fulfill on them. That's gonna take me like, I don't know what, like a couple hours a week, which is crazy. And then get clients that actually respect you, like clients telling you, yo, like just before I message you, like they'll try to have a conversation, like they actually feel like they're getting value from you, they appreciate you, and they don't treat you like a commodity because they respect you a lot. You're consulting them. And once I got to this point, I was like, damn, like I can scale this to the moon. And I want you guys to be able to have this exact same transition as well too, because if you want to keep making money in this info game, I promise you, you will get to the point where you're sick of tired of the done for you stuff, and you want to scale the consulting things, and you want to get to the next level where you're making way more money on the consulting level, and obviously have freedom, being able to live life in your own terms, all that stuff that everyone kind of promises you on, because you built a system to get consistent clients every single week. Without that, you're never going to make the money that you want to make. So how can I actually help you with this? I want you to genuinely just book a consultation call with me. And on this call, I'm just going to order your entire business. I'm going to give you a hybrid consultant offer that you can start selling for your niche specifically. So if you're already selling info and you just want to make more info money, 50 to 100K a month profit is where you want to get to. I'll obviously help you get there. And if you want to transition and obviously build out this hybrid offer in your business, I'll show you how to do it. And I want to make sure that you can at least cash flow 30 to 50K a month in profit on your own terms as a hybrid consultant. That's the whole goal of the call. I want to make sure that you guys leave with those 3 things. And I highly suggest you book the consultation call with me, because your worst case scenario is you leave with more knowledge than you actually have right now. I'm not going to offer anything to you guys unless I 100% believe I can. I haven't literally sold anything or like pitched anything on this YouTube channel in over like a year and a half, because I never really felt confident about the things I was going to be pushing out. But with this, I have so much conviction because I've been able to go down this path, and I've proven it twice. I've done it before a year and a half ago, and I did it again, and it still works. And I know it can work for you if you actually double down on it. And I'm not going to offer anything to anyone unless I 100% believe, I'm talking 100%, even 100,000%, believe that I can actually help you and you're in a position to get that help. So if you want that call with me, there's going to be a link down below. Book that now. It's just going to be there if you guys want to obviously get that. But apart from that, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to be completely transparent about the model that's been making me the money that I've been making right now. And I want to help a lot more people get into this model, because I truly believe it is the future to be able to consistently make money in this info game. Once you got to the point where you have skill sets and you obviously have the things you have. So the link's going to be down there if you want it. If you don't want it, it's completely fine. I hope this video gave you a lot of value. But apart from that, that's pretty much it from me. Hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.